Hey, hey, hey. How's everybody doing out there today? I guess what? The Sports Circus has been taken over by Jim Bob of Redneck Adventures, Mid-South Broadcasting, and we're in the studios of 107.1 The River over in Fairty, Louisiana, where we're right here on the Mississippi and Louisiana line, and a river runs through it, folks. Hey, I tell you what. We're gonna get the show started off. We're gonna first this first break segue brought to you by Safely Spend, an important message for consumer business owners and managers. For information on the best high-speed internet, satellite TV, cell phone service, identity protection, home and business security systems, credit card processing, plus savings on electricity and gas bills, contact 702-799-9935. That's for information or smart savings for homes and businesses. Contact 702-799-9935 or learn more at www.safelyspend.com or email them at info@safelyspend.com. We welcome our listeners in from Las Vegas Magic 97.9 FM KIOF, Boston WBNW, Atlanta WDJY. And hey, guess what? Our first guest, world famous NFL coach, Coach James Edward Fossil, or Coach Jim Fossil. Are you out there?
I am out there. I'm out here. I'm joining your radio show. I'd like to do it.
Well, I believe you're. Are you out in Las Vegas as we speak? Where in the world are you? Where do you call home now, Coach?
Las Vegas. Yep, that's where I live, and I had some options the last time I was coaching, and gave me some options, and I said, if you're going to have a team in Las Vegas, I'll take it.
Cool. Well, now, folks, if you may not know, I'll just give you a little bit of background about Coach Jim Fossil. Born August 31, 1949, former American football coach. He was the head coach of the New York Giants of the National Football League. That's the NFL from 1997 to 2003. He was the offensive coordinator of other NFL teams, and as a head coach, general manager, and president of the Las Vegas Locomotives of the United Football League. Coach, let's dive right into it. I got inquiring minds down here in my neck of the woods in Mississippi and Louisiana. Tell us, first off, just give me some of the highlights. I know you coached John Elway back in the day. You're a quarterback yourself back in the day. Just tell my audience a little bit about your highlights and your coaching accolades, if you will.
Well, yeah, I have two sons now coaching. They're following in my footsteps. One of them, you might know, he's with the Cowboys as a special teams coordinator. He had that watermelon ball, that they played that time. Anyway, I just grew up playing ball, and then I find at some point in time maybe I want to go into coaching. And it was my first good break. Was I did not have a paying coaching job. I was helping some guys, and the University of Utah hired me. That was my first hire where I'm getting paid. And then I moved around. I went to Weber State, then I went to Stanford. And the reason I got to Stanford was my offenses in those two stops that I had. They hired me at Stanford. And I recruited John Elway. And I coached him all 4 years, and we're still very close. And so from there, go ahead.
Well, and coaching John Elway at Stanford, you were the wide receiver and the running backs coach from 79 to 80, and then 81 to 83, I believe you moved over to offensive coordinator. Tell us a little bit about coaching John Elway. I mean, one of the greats for the Denver Broncos and one of the fantastic magicians out there at Stanford as a quarterback. What was a Saturday afternoon like getting ready to coach John Elway with Stanford?
Well, let me correct you on the one thing. When I went to Stanford, I was a quarterback coach my first year, and from then on, I was the offensive coordinator. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I never coached those other positions. Yeah. And so I recruited him all 4 years at Stanford. And
Gotcha.
it was great because, he had talent, a lot of talent, but he was a great guy to coach. He always, when a lot of times he'd come to me, Coach, I like that game plan. That the great call you made and stuff like that. And then, from there, I moved different spots and things, and I ended up back in the Denver Broncos. And the best thing not the best thing, one of the best things I've done is that when I went back, went into pro football and went to the Broncos, John was there and they hired me. It's a pretty good, guess on me. And John went the AFC Player of the Year. And he had been struggling at that time. And I think it was just this. John and I were close. He trusted me and I trusted him.
Sure. And fast forward, let's go to those years of being with the Giants and just, I believe the first year you kind of came with the Giants, were they struggling a little bit, and then you took them to the mountaintop? Is that a good way to say that?
Well, yeah, you're there close. I got hired, and I know this is a fact, that when they hired me, Bill Parcells tried to get the job back. He tried to get the job back. And George Young, who followed my career, he was the general manager of the Giants, and he built that franchise. I mean, he did. He's the one that set it all up. And George was retiring or pushing out the door my first year there. Okay. George got Executive of the Year, and I got Coach of the Year. And all it was because we won our division hands out. I mean, we won it all the way. And so that's why all the newspaper guys that vote on that thing said, we thought that New York Giants were going to be, 2-14, but we didn't. We didn't. We didn't. We had a great year. But the most important thing to me, George Young got me to that place. And after that year, he was Executive of the Year, and then he was not coaching anymore or general manager.
Wow. And from there, I mean, you've been at different, I believe you've been with the Raiders, you've been with the Cardinals, over with the Ravens, and then a couple of years out there with the Las Vegas Locomotives. Was that 2009 to 2012? Was that about that area? Yeah, that's about it. And we had a great time. I mean, we lasted 4 years, basically, the fourth one. But my team here, they offered, I'm the first offer. You want to have the New York franchise? You want to have this franchise? No, Vegas. I'll go to Vegas. And we won the title. We won the title 3 out of 4 years. We did. We won the first 2 titles. Then Marty Schottenheimer, he won it in the 3rd year. And then we were undefeated, and nobody was close to us. And he shut it down. But it was a real good league. I had had a lot of fun doing it, really. Right. And that was, I say that in 2009, 2010, 2-time UFL champion, but y'all were right there at the dance pretty much the whole 4 years. But were you there all 4 years of 2009 to 2012 with the Locomotives? Yes, I
was. Yes, I was. And I was one that talked Marty Schottenheimer into doing it. He was, I said, John, it's really good. It's a really good league. And he did. He came in. And, I was the whole time there. I stayed there. And so, it was a lot of fun with those things. And we were dominant there, and it was good. The problem, Denny Green and I were very close. He had the San Francisco team, and he's passed away, I think, about 5 years ago. And so, anyway, Denny and I were very close. So,
Sure. All right, Coach, we got a few minutes before we go to the break, and we thank you very much for coming on the Sports Circus with us this afternoon and taking our good buddy, the Ringmaster Sal's place for the day, old Jim Bob of Redneck Adventures and Mid-South Broadcasting. And I've got to know from my audience, for what I do on TV with wounded soldiers and kids to adults battling setbacks and wounded soldiers, when you're not in the football world per se, and you're living out there in Vegas with your wife and family and different. So I know all your different sons and daughters and different ones that are in the league at different places. When you're not in that mix, tell the folks what Coach Jim Fossil, what's your normal day to day? Do you hunt? Do you fish? Do you work out? Do you play golf? What do you do, Coach?
Well, this year I was planning on my two sons. I was going to go to all their games, but that is not working out that way. But right now I play golf. I have my daughter and a son. They're living right near us and stuff like that. And I do radio shows like this and just to relax. And what am I going to do now? What I do 5 days a week, I'm going to go get a workout in at the country club that I live in.
Well, thank you, Coach, for coming on this first segue. I appreciate it. And, hey, maybe one day you can come down to the South down here, and maybe we can, catch a fish or just do something fun in the great outdoors.
This is an urgent health notice. All residents suffering from back pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now. The Health Alert Hotline is your back brace company. These specialized braces have been thoroughly tested for pain relief. Call us toll-free right now to determine your eligibility. Don't wait. The deadline is fast approaching. The call just takes a few minutes, and we will handle all of the Medicare paperwork. Back braces have helped thousands of people just like you get relief from their back pain and return to living their lives to the fullest, enjoying activities they thought they might never be able to experience again. Find out if you're eligible to receive a pain-relieving back brace. Make sure to have your Medicare card ready when you call. Call us right now.
800-223-7902. 800-223-7902. 800-223-7902. That's 800-223-7902.
AMP, the multi-format network, is here to help create, produce, distribute, and sell your content. For more information, send a message to info@AAMP.TV. That's info@AAMP.TV.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-854-3183. 800-854-3183. 800-854-3183. That's 800-854-3183.
Yes. Hey, folks. Welcome back to the Sports Circus. Man, what a great first segue there. And I tell you what, Coach Jim Fossil, we'll talk more about him in just a minute, but I'm going to tell y'all this next segue is brought to you by Legal Shield. This segment is brought to you in part by Legal Shield, providing legal protection and peace of mind. Legal Shield can help with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUIs, court appearances, estate planning, even hard to understand contracts, plus a whole lot more. For more information, Legal Shield at 213-245-1305 or go to www.nocourt.us. Sonar, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. It is great to be back on the air with you, sir. Man, it has been a while.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. It's great to be heard on Las Vegas Magic 97.9 FM KIOF, CBS Sports Corpus Christi, which is KSIX, home of the Astros, Texans, and Rockets. Also Auburn, WAUD, home of the Atlanta Braves baseball. How about those guys right now? Go Braves. 107.1 FM The River. We're in that studio as we speak, going out also to our friends in Boston at WBNW and NBC AP, CNBC Los Angeles, 106.5, 102.3, 1050 KCAA, and CBS Sports, 1500 KHKA, home of the Yankees and 49ers. Also iHeart Radio, Spotify, YouTube, and also, hey, folks, make sure you subscribe. And 650,000 rooms on hotel television through, I think it's called AAMP.TV. Did I get that right, Sonar?
Yes, sir. That's us. AAMP.TV. AAMP.TV is a great place where you can go and see all this wonderful information. In fact, there are people watching you and I right now. We're connected with my studio here in Chicago all the way down to the 107.1 The River studio down there. And I'll tell you, I see you guys on Facebook all the time, and you are having a blast every single time.
You know, Sonar, I guess the way I was raised down here in southern Mississippi by great mom and dad. Mom's been gone now about 21 years now or so, and there's not a day that passes that I don't see something out there in the man upstairs' great creation where, you know, she taught me along the way the values of being a giver and not a taker, Sonar. And I'm going to tell you, I've enjoyed growing up in a family that lives to hunt, hunts to live, and are what I call givers instead of takers. You know, that's what we've done down here. We not too many months ago, we acquired this Miss Lou Media, which is 107.1 The River, classic hits, 70s, 80s, and 90s best of, and then classic country over on 104.7 The Gator. These radio stations kind of match and go along with what old Jim Bob's done. You know, in January, Sonar, Redneck Adventures television show, and folks, I'm going to invite y'all to check us out. We turned 22 years old in January. You can check us out at www.redneckadventures.com. We've got a YouTube channel. There's probably about 40 of our somewhat 250 episodes over there. And, you know, Sonar, we've done everything. I know last time I was on the show with you and Sal, we talked about our Redneck Armadillo Rodeo Roundup, our snake grabbing rodeos, a big event that we've got coming up in February. I'll kind of show this out there to the listeners and watchers. You know, the 21st annual Redneck Adventures Mid-South Broadcasting Miss Lou Tours Outdoor Extravaganza Festival. And you know what we got to do, Sonar? We got to get you on a biplane or airplane or you know, we got to get you on something to get you down here and get Sal down here. Maybe we can get Coach Jim Fossil and you know, the other day, the first day that we had y'all on 107.1, Herschel Walker on the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Herschel Walker is a fantastic interview, and I'll tell you what, he is a great guy too. I mean, and that's what I like about the show that we do and we put on here at AMP, the Sports Circus, is that it's not the same questions over and over again. And you did it perfectly with Coach Fossil too, because we all want to sit around and if we want to look up how many catches Herschel Walker's had, how many tackles, we can go find that. That's out there in the world. What we want to do,
make Google, ain't it?
Exactly. That's why they made all that. That information's there. We don't have to keep asking them, but we do need to ask him, what does he put on his barbecue? Is he a dry rub? Is he a wet sauce? Like, what does he do? So those are the types of questions that go great with these interviews. And I love how you were talking about 107.1 The River and the classic hits and everything like that, and your philosophy, because that right there hit a nerve for me with Dio, Rodney James Dio, right? The less that you give, you're a taker. Right there. Yep. Black Sabbath all day. They're gonna tell you exactly what it is, and I think it's that mentality of Thanksgiving. I mean, we have the thanks, we have giving, but you got to have that giving spirit, because you're grateful for what you have, and I'm grateful that Redneck Adventures can help me take over this show while Sal's out there gallivanting around trying to round up some snakes himself, I guess.
Well, wherever Sal is in the world, we hope he's. I hope he's not stuck in a gar hole, trying to hand grab like a rattle-headed copper moccasin. We're gonna save that for him for when he comes down here on that Redneck Adventure with us.
Now hold on, us in the north. You just skimmed right over gar hole because we don't get those in the north. We don't have those up in Illinois or Boston or any of the other places that we've got. You got to explain that a little bit, because gar hole sounds like a really sticky situation to be in.
Well, let me give you a little bit of lowdown. I'm gonna go back a few years so the audience on the Sports Circus kind of knows. Let's go back and let's tell them a little bit about Redneck Adventures TV show and Mid-South Broadcasting and who Jim Bob is for just a second, if we can. Like I said, grew up down here in Natchez, Mississippi. Natchez, Mississippi is the oldest city on the Mississippi River. We turned 300 years young just about 4 years ago in 2016. Everybody down, and maybe a lot around the world, think New Orleans is the oldest city on the Mississippi River, but Natchez actually is. That's my hometown. Born here, raised here, grew up here, to great parents that if it was an athletic sport, my dad coached me in it. If it was hunting or fishing, when I say Redneck Adventures TV show on TV, that is yes ma'am, no sir, front porch swinging, God fearing, sweet tea drinking. We live to hunt. We hunt to live. We fish to live. We live to fish. And we live, it's kind of like that saying in the good book, you teach a man to fish and he can feed himself for a lifetime. And we kind of believe in those philosophies with Redneck Adventures because, our Southern hospitality down here with my Southern roots, it's all about a little verse I learned way back at Emmanuel Baptist Church eons back ago that I sometimes like to use, not only on TV sonar, but on radio and just in coaching in general. Red, yellow, black, and white, Jesus loves the little children of the world, all equal in his sight. I may have messed that up a little bit, but, we've done and gave back for 21 years on national TV. Now, we got our big break about 15, 16 years ago. Before there was any reality shows, there was actually a reality show called The Simple Life, and it was on Fox. And The Simple Life was with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie. And at about that same time, we were 3 or 4 years young on TV. Somehow we wound up in Las Vegas, where Jim Fossil is living now. But we wound up in Las Vegas at the AAMPtv Show. It's the National Association of Professional Television Executives. Next thing you know, Hollywood is offering us a contract deal to do a reality show, basically taking 2 redneck boys out of the South and maybe sending us up to New York City to chase pigeons and play in Central Park and do fun stuff like that. Well, thank goodness for great entertainment lawyers. That's all I'll say about that. But in that magical moment, we also got hooked up with Jay Leno's Tonight Show. So if y'all are out there and you want to find more about our beginnings of how we really got our launch or our start, go to YouTube. Type in Jay Leno Loves Rednecks. There was about 300 different shows in competition. And hey, our good marketing director at the time, Rick Durand. I can't say enough about Rick Durand. I'm gonna say this. You see this packet here of Redneck Adventures. There's I don't know, 12 different DVDs and of all kinds of fun different things that we've done. Probably about 250 shows that we won that competition, Sonar. Out of those 300 shows in competition on the pitch to America, America voted, and we just took top honors. Now, we didn't get no $1 million contract. We didn't get no $1 million paycheck, but we got I would call what I would say is $1 million endorsement from Jay Leno saying, I don't know. I like those guys. He said, and his sidekick there, he said, I don't know, maybe you ought to go hunting with those guys one day, and his main bass player said, I ain't going nowhere. So one of them guys probably going to shoot the other guy, so y'all watch that, stay tuned, but we have stayed true to our roots with Redneck Adventures TV show. And that's what we do, Sonar.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus. So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
This is a time-sensitive message from the Back Pain Relief Hotline. Millions of people across the nation are suffering from back pain. Are you? Are you on Medicare? Is it hard to walk, to bend over, or even do simple things? Well, we have great news. If you're on Medicare, you could qualify to receive a pain-relieving back brace. We'll handle all the Medicare paperwork if you qualify and ship your new back brace right to your door. Make sure you have your Medicare card ready, and please call us right now and get all the details. It only takes a few minutes. Imagine doing everything you used to do before your back pain. With your Medicare card ready, call the Back Pain Relief Hotline today. Call now.
800-223-7902. 800-223-7902. 800-223-7902. That's 800-223-7902. Paid for by the Health Alert Hotline.
Hey, folks, welcome back to this next segue on the Sports Circus. Oh, your ringmaster today is old Jim Bob, Redneck, Coach Jim Bob, that is. And we're going to talk about that in just a bit, because that first segue, I tell you what, having a chance to talk with Coach Jim Fossil, the 1997 NFL Coach of the Year, and hearing him talk a little bit about, the coaching John Elway at Stanford back in the day. But anyway, before we get into this next segue, let me just tell you, this segment is brought to you in part by Cali Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, or multimedia talk show. Cali Vegas can help with everything they need to get out of sitting hours in hours of traffic every day and host their very own talk show in their own studio. For more information, call Cali, CALI-Vegas at 949-445-1119 or visit www.calivegas.com. Hey, we appreciate all the folks that are tuning in on AAMPtv in over 650,000 rooms nationwide in those 3, 4, and 5-star hotel rooms all over the planet that pick up and allow you to see the Sports Circus each and every day. Also, CBS Sports, Corpus Christi KSIX, that is the home of the Astros, Texans, and Rockets. You're also tuned in now on 107.1 FM The River in our studio of the Gumbo Studio. And we make a good gumbo, down here, Shy. We'll tell you about that more. Also, up in Boston, our friends up there at WBNW, Atlanta, WDJY, Auburn, WAUD, let me get that right, Sonar, home of the Atlanta Braves baseball. Also, NBC News, AP, CNBC Los Angeles, 106.5, 102.3, 1050 KCAA, CBS Sports, 1500, KHKA, home of the Yankees and 49ers. Now, Sonar.
Yes, sir.
How about let me tell you a little bit about growing up down south and what it's like to be from a small town where your mom and dad, they coach you, they mentor you, they mold you, they shape you, and they are your role models. And every day when I wake up and every night before I go to bed, I say a special prayer. And I'm just going to say, there's not a day that goes by that I don't I enjoy getting to see my dad all the time. He's 79 years young. He raised me in a family business where I learned technology. Even though I play the Jim Bob character, I don't want to compare me to the Jethro Bodine on Beverly Hillbillies, but I grew up computer technology, film. But now when I came back after computer science school at NLU in Monroe, Louisiana, which is now ULM, the Warhawks, we were the Indians back then. I know the names have changed. I'm not even going to go into that. But 1985-ish or so, I returned home to Natchez, Mississippi, to all good business machines, all good computers, and I cut my teeth learning from IBM and the beginning days of the internet and all that. But before that, I grew up, and from little Woodman of the World football to Little League baseball, Dixie Youth, basketball. We now call it AYA. Back in our day in southern Mississippi, there weren't any soccer balls. There was just those red little rubber balls that you threw around in the gym. Now, I'll fast forward to about 1985 for you on there, Sonar. I came back home from college, and immediately my love for sports found me because I didn't get to spend a few years playing college baseball per se. I found a new love at that time. It was called slow pitch softball. And me and many of the would-be baseball players at NLU in the day met up in the parking lot, basically out there at the baseball stadium at NLU back in the day, and we started hitting the softballs around. Now, that went on to several years, and I got to travel around the country playing in men's upper-level softball for quite a number of years. Then, as that was happening, many of my coaches from times past pretty much grabbed me and pulled me aside and said, okay, Jimmy or Jim Bob or Little Jimmy or whatever they called me back in the day. They said, you're fixing to start refereeing football. You're going to referee basketball, baseball, softball. Heck, we didn't have enough ice down here hardly for summertime iced tea. Or if we had it, we would have had ice hockey down here, and I'd have probably coached and refereed that. But Sonic, Sonar, in about 1985, I started volunteer coaching at Adams County Christian School here in Natchez, Mississippi, which I can gladly say just a second ago, I got a text while I'm on the phone and live with you from our headmaster, Coach David King. He's the headmaster and head football coach there. And I'll say this, I love being a volunteer coach there since 1985. My life has been blessed by what I learned from my parents and my dad of being that giver. And, if you can volunteer coach your kids out there in America, here's what I would say is Jim Bob's redneck coaching tip of the day. If you're a soccer mom, a baseball dad, what you really ought to try doing while your kids are growing up is maybe go officiate a little league baseball game. Go learn and get involved with coaching youth in soccer or baseball or basketball or football, or it could be lacrosse in your neck of the woods, whatever it is. And here's what I'm going to say that you're going to learn as a parent. You're going to learn what us referees that put on those striped suits, when you get up there in the stand as a fan, and I don't want to say show your tail feathers, but you do certain things to almost embarrass your kids. If you would be a referee for about a year, a day, or a week of any of those sports I mentioned, I'm going to say this, Sonar, the world may be a better place for youth to grow up playing sports in. How about that?
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree, because it's one of those things that you hear them coming down. You always hear the truth. You always hear just words of wisdom that we all tend to ignore in our youth. But it's those same things over and over. Coach had always told me this. Mom had always told me this. And it's when you start handing some of those words of wisdom down to the next generation and down to your kids and down to your grandkids, and when you start handing those down, I think that's what really galvanizes them as an adult. Is you've heard them all before. They're the same cliches, put the effort into it, et cetera, et cetera. And I think you nailed it right there on the head, is that when you start passing those words of wisdom, those pearls down, those are the ones that stick with you, and you can get them across the entire thing. And now you're the guy who's either instilling them into that next generation, or you're the one that's now being ignored. So it's win-win. So the more things that you're involved with, the more of a chance that you have to actually pass down those talking traditions and that talking almost integrity. You have that integrity instilled in you from all of the other generations before. So now it's our turn to turn it down to our kids and turn it down to the next generation. And coaching, I think, is a perfect place for that.
Absolutely. And I'll say this, I learned as a young coach, I learned as a young referee, and here was the other blessing. And I say this, many of my mentors, I'll tell you, I'll say one that gives me goosebumps before I say it, was, Red Bob Owens. Now, Red Bob Owens, from 1956 to 1960, Red Bob Owens played. He started as a true freshman at Ole Miss. Red's kind of claim to fame. I say claim to fame because I joked with him over the years about this. Red was almost that last tackler that night on Halloween about this time of the year, way back in the day on that Billy Cannon run back in the day. And Red, being for many years, he taught me the art of giving back to I can't tell you the number of yards around my town that Red Owens, rest his soul, that he cut, but he also taught at different schools, and he coached, and he taught me as a referee. Also, another legend that's passed on. there's so many different ones. I'll give you another one, and many of my listeners around here remember this man. His name was Fred Foster. Rest in peace, Fred Foster. Fred Foster was another great football athlete from Natchez, Mississippi. He went on to Delta State, and I believe until that coach down there, that quarterback at Florida many moons ago, I was actually maybe refereeing a basketball high school, a state championship or an overall or something with Coach Fred Foster in those waning years of the years I learned from him. And I was watching a Florida football game one day, and Fred Foster he had that loud, boisterous voice, and he'd say, "Jimmy, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be today. That may not be the rule, but that's the way we're going to call it tonight in this gym." And Fred Foster mentored, but let me tell you a little bit about Fred. Fred held a record, and I was watching a Florida Gators football game one day, and the announcer came on when that quarterback down there, and I'm going to mess it up, so I ain't going to say his name, but the announcer said something like that. It says, and that marks the 7th touchdown for the Florida Gators today, and that previous record was held by Fred Foster of Delta State University. He scored, he passed for 6 touchdowns. The next Tuesday or whenever, when I saw Coach Fred Foster, I was like, "Fred, you had told me that, but I thought it was maybe a tall tale." And he's like, "No, Jimmy, I'm not going to tell you a story." So, Sonar, those were a few of the greats that I learned from. I learned their coaching skills. I learned their mental of how you deal with kids. And it's time for us to go to a break, isn't it?
AMP, the multi-format network, is here to help create, produce, distribute, and sell your content. For more information, send a message to info@AAMP.TV. That's info@AAMP.TV.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's abtrustco.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away.
This is an urgent health notice. All residents suffering from back pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now. The Health Alert Hotline is your back brace company. These specialized braces have been thoroughly tested for pain relief. Call us toll-free right now to determine your eligibility. Don't wait. The deadline is fast approaching. The call just takes a few minutes, and we will handle all of the Medicare paperwork. Back braces have helped thousands of people just like you get relief from their back pain and return to living their lives to the fullest, enjoying activities they thought they might never be able to experience again. Find out if you're eligible to receive a pain-relieving back brace. Make sure to have your Medicare card ready when you call. Call us right now.
800-223-7902. 800-223-7902. 800-223-7902. That's 800-223-7902.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
folks. Welcome to this next segue on the Sports Circus. It's old Coach Jim Bob sitting in for Sal. It's Jim Bob and Sonar. And look, Sonar, without our great engineer down here, Greg Superman Simmons, folks, we didn't use duct tape today. We actually had to take a couple of wires, cut them with scissors, put them back together with Scotch tape. He can take like the kitchen sink and some Scotch tape and a clothes hanger and make like a, I don't know, an AM FM radio.
You remember that? You remember the old what is it? The foxhole radios where it was like a pencil and a little piece of aluminum foil and a whole bunch of stuff. So right there, that's a sign of a true engineer, where if you can't go to the store to go buy, because the cable he made, I know how hard it was that he put that together. The cable he made, that's a $20 custom cable that you got in 15 seconds with a pair of scissors and some Scotch tape sitting around. That's how we do it.
I'm looking over here at it. Sonar is just sitting on the side of the table out the back of the broadcasting box, and it's just that Scotch tape is holding the studio together right now, my friend.
That's it.
107.1 The River. Hey, that's where you're tuned in, listening live from the Gumbo Studios in Fairdy, Louisiana, folks. Now, this next segue is brought to you by American Business Trust Company. And this segment, again, is brought to you in part by the American Business Trust Company, helping companies with business strategy, sales and marketing, capital resources, and establishing companies with a physical location or on the internet. Visit them online at www.abtrustco. That's ABT Trust. I'm going to get this right. www.abtrustco.com or call 657-600-1876 to learn more. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Hey, all our friends tuning in on AAMPtv in over 650,000 rooms around this great land of ours on AAMPtv. We appreciate you tuning in. Hey, first top of the hour, we had Coach Jim Fossil, and what a segue that was, Sonar. Hey, 1997 NFL Coach of the Year for the New York Giants. His son's now coaching with the Cowboys. He got to coach John Elway when he was out there coaching at Stanford. Now he lives and resides in Las Vegas, and hey, hopefully maybe he'll get down here on a Redneck Adventure or Miss Lou tour or come down here and hang out with us. Also, our friends up in Boston at WBNW, Atlanta at WDJY, Auburn, WAUD, home of Atlanta Braves baseball. Also, again, 107.1 The River, KFNV, CBS Sports, Corpus Christi, KSIX, home of the Astros, Texans, and Rockets. And, of course, Las Vegas Magic, 97.9 FM, KIOF, NBC News, AP, CNBC, Los Angeles 106.5, 102.3, 1050 KCAA, CBS Sports 1500 KHKA, home of the Yankees and 49ers. Also, y'all can catch us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and YouTube. Hey, folks, go out there and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channels of the Sports Circus. Also, Redneck Adventures. Y'all check out our TV shows, YouTube. And Sonar, I tell you what, this it's been the first three segues have flown by, but I believe we got a little bit longer one this next one. And I'm going to take us away, and I'm going to talk about something that I have found what I call a silver lining in COVID-19. Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, we all need a bit of good news in this dreary type of environment we're in right now.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. About 8 years ago, Mid-South Broadcasting. Now, Mid-South Broadcasting is the umbrella for Redneck Adventures television show. Once again, if you're just joining us, Redneck Adventures television show turns 22 years young in this coming January. We've done a ton of shows over the past 21 years or so, folks. About 250 episodes. I got to thank my good buddy Rick Duran with High Def Media Concepts. What a great man. And, now we talked about those years. We talked with Coach Jim Fossil earlier in the show of the New York Giants, 1997 NFL Coach of the Year. That was awesome. We talked about a little bit of my upbringing and being raised down here in the South, what I call redneck right. And redneck to me means God first, family, yes ma'am, no sir. We'll open the door. We'll close the door. If you need bug spray or more ice in your sweet tea while you're on our front porch and we're talking about great things of all walks of life, that's what we do. Now, let's turn back the clock to about 8 years ago, Sonar. 8 years ago at the school where I volunteer coach and have for many, many a moon, we started, because of my love for TV and technology, we started a film and technology class. I got to give a shout out to my good buddy, Mark LaFrancis. He was a 23-year veteran. We started a nonprofit called Home with Heroes. I'll invite y'all to check that out. It is a true 501c3. And if you remember back in the day, many of you may have tuned in. We did about the first 13 episodes of the Wounded Warrior Project. You may have saw us on national TV, on the Sportsman channel, on the Pursuit channel. We've been syndicated on national TV, golly, to cable systems all over the planet for about 15 or so years, Sonar. But here's what I want to talk about, the silver lining I have found in COVID. You got to turn back the clock to about 8 years ago. There was this thing that we started at Adams County Christian School in Natchez, Mississippi, called live streaming of high school sports. And we started out naturally with Coach David King, the headmaster / head football coach at Adams Christian. And I'm proud to say just literally this past year before COVID and all that good stuff, our school of ACCS, in the 50-year existence that we've been in existence, and again, I got to give a shout out to Mom and Dad, because back in the day, they helped lay the foundations to start a great Christian school like I'm still able to coach at today. And we had and started that film and technology class because Coach David King believed and knew in what I'm all about of being a giver and not really a taker. And so what we did is we said, Coach King, let us give our students the availability to give the parents, the grandparents, the others that can't get to a football game, because Sonar, down here in the South in August, on about the first or second Friday night, let me just tell you something, sir. It's about 110 degrees in the shade. And if Mama is turning 75, 85, or like when my grandmother was in her 95 to 97 years, she got to see my son, Justin Allgood, play for a state championship in soccer. Hit a home run on senior night, being a baseball left fielder for the ACCS baseball team, play basketball. We talked about that a while ago with these small schools. The students, athletes have to pretty much play everything. I know because I coached those kids in soccer, tennis, golf, and other sports in the past, but Mid-South Broadcasting at Adams County Christian School took a leap of faith in that beginning year, and myself, Michael the Wiz Wilson, Mark LaFrancis, and Hayden Crosby. That was the four folks. We took the ball, we got all the equipment on a Tuesday, and we broadcast that first Friday night football game. And I'm not going to tell you it wasn't like bubble gum, duct tape, and scotch tape on steroids to make it work. But it worked, Sal. And from there, fast forward, what has happened, because all these coaches, these headmasters, these superintendents, principals, and I've been coaching and refereeing for, since 1985, they know my love and passion for coaching and mentoring and giving back. And they also know my love for TV and broadcast and all that. So we took all that, we put it in a capsule, so to say, and we started using the students at the schools. Both the times, Michael the Wiz Wilson and Hayden Crosby were both 8th graders. Michael, our good buddy, was coaching or teaching the class, Mark LaFrancis, and I was kind of assisting him. And we were putting this equipment together, and we broadcast that first Friday night football game. Now, that was back when the internet was a little bit slower, back when you didn't get that super duper high end resolution that we're getting now. Now, let's fast forward to about a year ago. About a year ago, we probably had 4 or 5 schools in our area that we were broadcasting out. And with the progression of technology, media, and everything, we've gotten better cameras, we've gotten better technology, we've gotten faster internet speeds. We use hotspots and different technology. And Greg Superman Simmons, that helped get this broadcast today, has also been, when I call him Greg Superman Simmons, he don't wear a cape, but he ain't got to. And he may have an S on his chest, and I believe it. And Michael the Wiz Wilson was that 8th grader that started. Now, 8 years ago to today, I'm proud to say right now, Sonar, we've got over 30 schools in and around Mississippi and Louisiana.
Wow.
And pretty much every school in our Miss Lou, with the exception of pretty much, I think, one school, but about 15 or so schools all around within about a 60-mile radius. And then I'm also glad to say I'm working with a buddy of ours with a group called Off the Bench Sports. He's got about 50 schools just over in Louisiana. So when you do the mathematics of what we're doing and what we're working with, here's the good thing about it, Sonar, and you folks out there watching. All these kids in these schools, grades 8 through 12, whether they're at home doing virtual learning now or they're in school under COVID-19 restrictions, we are going the extra mile and the extra distance. And national partners, I won't start saying a bunch of them. I'll just say a few names, kind of like Bass Pro, Sonic, and a few others. I'll stop at that. Have blessed us to be able to take this technology and educate kids. You know, a lot of schools out there, they all play football, basketball, baseball, soccer, tennis, golf, cross country, and other sports. But here's what we're bringing to, I call Mid-South broadcasting. We're bringing to Louisiana and Mississippi that silver lining, because Mamaws, Papaws, and all these schools down here on Friday nights when a football game, for instance, this coming Friday night, a ton of people will tune in and watch those live broadcasts. For instance, last year during a playoff game, ACCS played Starkville Academy Sonar on a Friday night. And a tidbit, we also build Roku and individual TV channels for those schools, but we build Roku and Amazon Fire TV channels for those schools. And those students learn film, broadcasting, technology. They learn to come in the radio station and do the broadcast. And guess what? We're lining them up with colleges and universities where they can go on to be filmers, broadcasters, and run the programs in college with scholarships, Sonar. How awesome is that?
It's great to hear. I mean, you got to pass it down to the next generation.
Didn't we talk about that a while ago?
Sure did.
Alrighty, folks. Hey, what a great show we've had today. We appreciate you. Check out the Sports Circus, also redneckadventures.com, midsouthbroadcasting.com. Till next time, enjoy the Sports Circus. Y'all have a redneck day now, you hear?
Have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.